Alright, welcome back, everybody over on YouTube. We are now on part 7. Let's get into it. Starting directly from part 6. Like, maybe 20 seconds in between. Okay. As I said, replace Cinder 1. God, that's nasty. All the worms and stuff. Aldrich, you a nasty bitch. Place the Twin Princes. The Abyss Watchers. And Yorn. And then Ludlith, a nice little guy, is actually a nice little guy. And he's helpful. And he doesn't want to try and, make us fight him to deal with all this shit. You miss Kippy? Oh, yeah. He'll be home in an hour or two.
And the lords go without thrones. Surrender your fires
I know.
to the true heir.
Oh, I'm having ideas. Oh. Yeah, yeah. Take me there. I need to write this down before I forget it. I gotta write this down. Hold on. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Ideas for the game. Alright, I had to get that idea down before I forgot about it, but that's a really, really good idea for the game. Um... God knows I've tried. I'm broken about to the beast inside. The moonlight strikes a sky. To the drag heap. Actually, I'm gonna do that. Broken my vow to the broken soul. The moonlight strikes the sky. Amber. Fuck off with ya. No, you leave me alone. You leave me all alone. Divine blessing. Get that. Ugh. We gotta make sure that the tower gets broken down. We're gonna go fight the angel host thing. Whatever you want to call this dude. So we can kill the angel. Alive with a goddamn remedy. Then we're gonna go back, get the Ring of Steel Protection plus 3. And we're gonna have a good day. I can't remember if it's the Silver Serpent Ring plus 2 up there, or the Covetous Silver Serpent, or Covetous Gold Serpent Ring plus 2 up there. It was one of the two. I think it's the Silver Serpent Ring. With a goddamn remedy. Yeah. A whole 8 physical. Love it. We're gonna run through that tiny little area with all the dreg monsters, dreg beasts. Get it. Alive with a goddamn remedy. We'll take it to our grave. What are you doing tomorrow? Alright, I'll be here. Oh, I gotcha. Well, then you get to be up early when Sarah gets here, because she'll be here early in the morning. Ah, that was right. Except for the fact that it's the +3 version, not the +2 version. What bodies they pile. See, one of the things that Dark Souls 3 is kind of weird about with their pathing is in this area specifically. So you've got point A, point B, and then you've got two paths to get there. And it's very short distances too. I was like, what's the point? Like, if you're gonna have something like that, have it be a much longer pathway. It just doesn't make any sense. If they must die, making it easier to say goodbye. Down 20 feet, about 6 feet deep. Dude. Ow. We don't need no angel bullshit going on. Okay, get this. House 6 feet deep. I love the fact that if it's an ash covered floor, you don't take fall damage to it. Because it's a giant cushion. Ow. To get out of the trenches. What did I fight for? The battle should take me, I will take that. It's so nice that they made it so it doesn't break when you unequip it. That was such a bullshit idea. Is that 15? 20? 2.5? The health difference is definitely a good amount. La 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 la. Ooh! All damage in Dark Souls 3 is garbage. I believe you can steal from me. I will take this. The only other weapon in this that I might actually use is the Herald Curved Greatsword, and that's the only reason why I'm still in this area. Because here I come, here I come. Yep. Because it is over here. I believe you can steal from me. Give up. I won't give up. It's that item right there. Cause here I come, here I come. Go away so I can get the Titanite slot, or Twinkling Titanite. Morgana from fucking Sorcerer's Apprentice? Or is that actually a Merlin thing? Ow. That hurt. It was really unnecessary of you. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the shrine. We're gonna max out the Herald Curved Greatsword. Just because I want to, you know? It's the only other weapon I realistically use. The exact thoughts. Yeah, if you put chaos on it, boost the fuck out of your faith. It is really good. I think it's the same with hollowing. Don't remember how you get that up though. No, you have to talk with him first, and then it allows you to go hollow. Look inside, what do you see? Are you just something tender like me? in the cycle. Okay. Nameless King. Then we'll start Ashes. That is an actual bell out in the world. I think it's Russian. Don't remember exactly. The circus of expression. Of course. Can we do this first try? Cause one big freak show. What makes you different than me? What the fuck? Why couldn't I roll? Of course I had to say, can we do this first try? No, because I said it. Now of course we're not gonna do it first try. Dumbass. Dick. Come on. Oh, of course. That's right. This song is like perfect for this fight. Oh, too far. Oh, much faster downward than I thought it was gonna be. Oh, that was a little scary. What the fuck? Why couldn't I roll through that? Stun locked me so fucking hard on that. Bullshit. I gotta turn my AC up. It's getting hot in here. Welcome in, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever. There we go. It was a good second try, though. Come on. God, the depth perception on this fight is annoying as shit. The AoE is also massive. And this is why I hate flying creatures. Really? Thank you. I hate flying bosses, dude. Damn it. Ooh! Stop it! I'm just trying to catch up, bro. Dude. Bro. Why do you have to move so fucking fast sometimes? Gone. Cast away in time. They were yours. There we go. Woo. Oh, motherfucker. Through the madness we find, loyalty is no match for power. Say goodbye to your life. Left to rot in your darkest hour. Prayers won't help you now. As long as you're mine. missed the roll! Fuck, dude! Ugh! You have some annoying combos. Do a shitload of damage. It's not taking me this long to fight a boss in Stancer, dude. You can't. I've stood in the dark, been waiting all this time, while we damn to death are trying to survive. Dude. Your name feels like needles in my skin. Okay. I fucking stun broke him? I'll take it. Ow. Come on. Of course you did. Thanks. Condescending unit. We got this. We got the Dragon Rider set, the Dragon Slayer set. Soul item. All right. So we're gonna try and bonfire again. Dahlia, hi. What are you doing?
Ash forgive, very then hate.
That's what, 3 whole levels right there?
Ash forgive, very then hate.
I did my math wrong. That's barely a level and a half.
Ashen one.
Yeah, I get Lidless Crown. Don't remember what its benefits are, but... Oh no. Lidless Crown is a DLC, or mod item. What up, dope? I think that's it for base game. No, we still have Smoldering Lake. I almost forgot about Smoldering Lake. That's where my missing Estus Shard and one of the Bone Dusts is. Estus Shard and Undead Bone Shard. Almost forgot. Oh, and I didn't even grab this bonfire. Of course not. Smoldering Lake. Its lore connections to Lost Izalith are really cool. Well, I've been playing the games since the original Dark Souls 1 came out, right? So I've been playing them for 15 years. And I've fucking loved it. You know? I've always loved the Souls games. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, amazing games. 2011. But Dark Souls 1 was the first one that I think that they got right to the best of their ability. And then every game after, they were kind of struggling to recreate it. Come here. Of course, you know, they kept expanding on the world, the mechanics, the way that you can play these games, the way the world interacts. But Dark Souls 1, nothing is unintentional in Dark Souls 1. The only thing that you could say is unintentional is the fact that Lost Izalith wasn't fleshed out as well as they wanted to. But that's purely just the enemy layout and small parts of the area. The lore, Dark Souls 2 needs love. I love Dark Souls 2. It's got its problems. It's not perfect, but it has some of the best DLCs in the franchise. And all three Souls games are better than Elden Ring individually. But that's a topic for a different time. Dark Souls 1's environmental storytelling, the lore in that world, and the way it is presented is fucking amazing. If you do not have a lot of knowledge of Dark Souls 1's world lore, Hawkshaw, HAWKSHAW, over on the Play Button app, has been doing lore deep dives on Dark Souls 1 for over 10 years. And he goes so in depth with it, and it is so well done. It is amazing. Okay? He's got hours upon hours upon hours of amazing lore deep dives where he's tying together as many elements of that world as he possibly can. Very well done. But the lore, the way the world is presented in Dark Souls 1, the interconnectivity of the world, and the way that, excluding the Asylum, from Firelink Shrine, there are 8 different bosses that you can choose as your first boss of a playthrough. Because from Dark Souls 1, or from Firelink Shrine, if you have the Master Key as your starting gift, you can go down to New Londo Ruins and open that side gate and do Blighttown. Or you can do Darkroot Basin. Or you can do New Londo Ruins. You won't be able to get to Four Kings, but you can do all of New Londo Ruins. You can go through Catacombs and Tomb of the Giants, except you can't fight Nito, of course. Then you can do... God, there was another one. Undead Burg, of course. That's the desired path to start with. I can't remember how to get to the other ones exactly, but as I was saying, the ability to choose where you want to go and how to start your playthrough. Painted World isn't until Anor Londo. But from Firelink Shrine, you have so many options. So fucking many to choose from. And it is absolutely amazing. And of course it makes it apparent like, hey, this is a later game area. You're not supposed to be here this early in your playthrough. Alright, Coda. The rage bait's not gonna work. You know this. Yeah. But if you've got even a little bit of tidbit help from any other player, they're almost always going to tell you when you're making your first character to start with the Master Key. If they don't, they're not your friend. You're not gonna end up spending too much time here, as I said. I really don't know why I'm going through this area. What's cool about the convergence mod for this area is it makes it so that you have to go through this to unlock a part to open the door to the Demon King. Or the old Demon King, whichever. But yeah, that world interconnectivity, the world lore, the environmental storytelling, all of that is why I want to make my own game. And it's the story that we have so far. I mean, Coda, you should definitely check out the message I sent like 30 minutes ago. Not even 30, it's almost an hour ago, but still. Fuck off with that. Yep, there's that last undead bone shard. That is all 10, and then I can't remember where the last Estus shard is. The thing about Dark Souls 2 is Dark Souls 2's Estus flask is really, really background. The life gems are the absolute heart of that game in terms of healing items. And it's definitely something I'm going to try to go for with mine. What up, fair lady? Your placement in this area does not feel right, but whatever. Are we seeing it from behind, though? Is that why? Don't remember. Anyways, welcome in, everybody. Hello, hello. We'll get Sorig in a second. Really? That was dumb as fuck. Is there an Estus shard in this area? I don't remember there being an Estus shard in this area. Ooh, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not cool. Wally, thanks for the follow. I do not take kindly to being petrified. Oh, absolutely. I've been replaying all of Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, every inch of it, and then I'm do the Dark Souls 3 Convergence mod. Finish my Dark Souls 2 PlayStation Platinum in my free time, and then re-platinum Dark Souls 1 and 2 on PC. Get the whole trilogy done twice. Elden Ring will not be played. After the Convergence mod, I will be doing Lies of P, and then going back and playing Dark Souls 1 and 2 for my Platinum runs. Except 1, it's not. 2, I platinumed it more than enough times to actually never play it again. I have Platinum Bloodborne, yes, and I did. So, while I've been talking about my video game that I'm developing, I have been replaying all of Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, and Bloodborne. All of it's been live streamed over on here. If you want to see my opinion of Elden Ring, go to my Dark Souls 2 episode 11. I think I go through my entire list of reasons why. Um, but for anybody who's ever started the game from the beginning of the franchise and not Elden Ring, you will know that Elden Ring is not nearly as good as all these new gen Souls players want it to be. But I'm almost done with Dark Souls 3, and this is the last base game area and then DLCs, and then I will be doing, as I said, the Convergence mod, then Dark Souls 1 and 2 again. And yet, the open world of that game is the biggest reason why it's terrible. It is the cause of all of its problems. It was pretty cool. Yeah, definitely different for Bloodborne. Made a little bit of sense with the steampunk aesthetic of that world. But yes, I don't like it. I platinumed it 3 times, and I know more than enough about that game to know that it is the weakest in the franchise. I've been playing these games since I was 6 years old. Elden Ring is not nearly as good as all of the people who are joining the community by playing it first want it to be. Just because it's open world does not mean it's good. Just because it has more content does not mean it's good. Bigger has never always meant better. Bigger can mean better, but it is not guaranteed to mean better. Dark Souls 3 easily has better bosses. As I said, bigger has not always meant better. In this case, it actually is the biggest reason as to why Elden Ring suffered. They spent so much time. And as I said, if you've played Dark Souls 3 enough, you will know that Elden Ring is weak because most of Elden Ring is Dark Souls 3. It reuses so many Dark Souls 3 assets, it's fucking depressing. I felt like I was playing a Dark Souls 3 DLC most of that playthrough. Once again, as I said, does not mean it's better. Okay. Really not. Easiest game to break. Very sad how easy it was to get really broken in that game. It's really sad how much of the community was so willing to cheese the game rather than play the game. I swear there was a better run back than this. Yeah, it's because there's a bonfire over there that I forgot. Playing the game normally is 100% better than cheesing a playthrough. But most of the Elden Ring community is so much more willing to cheese the playthrough than actually play the fucking game. Most of that community is some of the worst Souls players I've ever seen in terms of people, like who they actually are as a person. Dark Souls 2 is also a good game. Anybody who doesn't realistically give it enough time is losing out because it's a good game. I've played that game since release, and sure, it's not perfect, but it's still a good game. Okay. Every game has a reason to have their problems. But Elden Ring has double the amount of people who made Dark Souls 3 and half the content of the originality. Most bosses in Elden Ring are copy and pasted and shotgunned throughout the world with zero care. The dungeons are all copy paste, or at least the same assets reused over and over again in a slightly different order. There's entire structures from Dark Souls 3 in Elden Ring. There's several structures in Elden Ring that are copy and pasted in itself. Several bosses with reused combos from Dark Souls 3. Promised Consort Radahn makes no sense lore-wise and is one of the worst written bosses in the franchise history. And the lore, anybody who defends the lore needs to be checked mentally because it's all brother sister love. Like, it is disgusting. I can never defend what they ever did to Elden Ring. I was excited when I heard how big that game was going to be. Except it's not. It's really not. If you take all of the lore of Elden Ring and compare it to the lore of Dark Souls 1 alone, it's nothing. Fuck over here. There is a shitload of lore in the first two. Dark Souls 1 has more lore than Dark Souls 2 and 3 combined. Yeah, Lies of P is amazing. I will probably end up playing it sometime again recently, or soon. Recently. And therein completely disqualifies your entire view and opinion. Elden Ring's lore is disgusting. And I swear to God, if somebody asks me if I've seen Game of Thrones because of the brother-sister love in the lore, I do not care. And no, I have not seen Game of Thrones. No, I don't. I think it's fucking terrible. The amount of R names just screams lazy. Um, okay. Just because it was written by George R. R. Martin doesn't mean it has to be good. Yeah, the first playthrough of Lies of P can be easy or hard depending on if you get used to the perfect parries. I made it a little harder on myself my first playthrough because I was like, oh, I probably won't need it. Once again, this is the reason why I don't talk about Elden Ring on my streams. It's because it turns into an argument with somebody who decides to talk like a wall and does not actually listen. Because that game is not nearly as good as anybody thinks it is. I've been playing these games for 15 fucking years. Elden Ring is terrible. Big, open world, and pretty does not always equal good. I'm not gonna sit here and argue with a fucking wall. You can like the game all you want, but sitting here and arguing and just being a dick about it, it's not gonna help. The bone cutting saw blade mixed with the bramble curve sword handle, dude. If you haven't tried that already, you need to. And yes, Jay, I do not like Elden Ring. Even after 3 platinums, if you want to find out my opinion, because I'm not going to elaborate anymore on the stream, go to my play button app. Go to my Dark Souls 2 playthrough in episode 11. Okay. Dude. Not even top 5. The original Demon Souls is better. But once again, I will not be elaborating any further on it this stream. I'm already annoyed. Dude. Fuck you. Oh yeah. I always switched between the fire and lightning shit. And once again, my point still stands. The remaster was not great. The original Demon Souls was pretty fun. He just kept spitting that fucking fireball in my face that whole fight. And I'm not going to elaborate any more on my Elden Ring opinions. If you want to sit and act like a fucking wall the entire conversation, you can go watch my entire fucking video where I talked about my opinion of Dark Souls 2. What is it with people defending the brother-sister love gross fucking lore of Elden Ring? I don't understand. Dark Souls 1 has easily much, much better lore than any of the fucking games. I implore you to go watch Hawkshaw over on the play button side, dude. Dark Souls 1's lore is so much deeper than anybody actually realizes. Dark Souls 1's lore is fucking nuts. It's why so many people think that. And once again, Dark Souls 1 has more lore than you fucking realize. Dark Souls 1 has more lore than the entire trilogy combined. I'm not kidding. I'm not lying to you. I'm not making shit up. Go watch Hawkshaw. He's been doing lore deep dives on Dark Souls 1 for over a fucking decade. Dark Souls 1 has a shitload of lore. Once again, I'm done talking to fucking walls. I don't fucking understand people, dude. Elder and Glazers are some of the worst fucking people on the planet, I swear to God.
What are they saying?
I've already restarted because I'm tired of dealing with bullshit. If they join the live, I'm just gonna end up blocking them because it's like talking to a goddamn wall.
What were they saying?
Essentially, that Dark Souls 1 has zero lore. Like, they were defending the zero lore back and forth and back and forth. I mean, even you, Joel, you know Dark Souls 1 has a shitload of lore. The last two bosses. No, I ended the stream because I'm tired of people being fucking idiots. It's so annoying. Nobody wants to listen if you disrespect their game. I'm sorry that I've played your game a million goddamn times and still don't think it's worth its salt. And then saying that Dark Souls 1 has no lore? Are you fucking dumb? I can understand if you like the game. I can. But sitting and talking like a wall and not actually letting anybody tell you new information because you don't like their game is the dumbest fucking thing. Dark Souls 1 has a shitload of lore, and denying it is lying to yourself. Dark Souls 1's lore built the fucking pathway for Elden Ring to have the lore that it does. As I said, Dark Souls 1 alone has more lore than any other game in the franchise. By fucking far. It is why Lost Izalith did not get finished. They spent so much time working on the lore for Dark Souls 1 that they could not finish the game. They had to rush Dark Souls 1 to finish production. It is why Dark Souls 1's lore is fucking amazing. I haven't gone through and done my favorite game list in a long time. Who's here to sell shit? Okay, I've got 30,000 more souls ready. And I will always say, defending Elden Ring's lore and saying Elden Ring's lore is among the best in the franchise is fucking disgusting. Like, actually disgusting. It's literally brother-sister love most of the story. What?
So this is
What up, shoes?
This is yesterday. That was my total hours for the week, as of yesterday. That's today.
Bah.
I did not plan that. It just happened. The fact that it's even.
I haven't cared about my hours in over a year.
It's just, I like to keep them so that I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll never understand the difference in brain chemistry from an Elden Ring glazer to a Dark Souls player. There is a vast fucking difference. It doesn't make any sense.
Ashen One, be sure to bring more souls.
Being a giant fucking brick wall to have a conversation with is also crazy, but to each their own, I guess. Hey, I don't knock turn-based games. It's just not my thing. I forget that right click is weird. I never once denied that. I will always say that Elden Ring does not deserve top 5 Souls games. Dark Souls 1 has the best lore, Dark Souls 3 has the best gameplay, Dark Souls 2 has some of the best niche mechanics. But Dark Souls 3, if it had the same level of lore and world connectivity that Dark Souls 1 did, it would be by far the best game. By far. People think like that's the linearity of it. It's the most linear. It's the most linear Souls game. So it's kind of hard to avoid a lot unless you're literally glitching the game and getting out of bounds to avoid bosses. But Dark Souls 3 does have some of the best boss fights, and that's why I said best gameplay. Because you also got some of the best weapons, some of the best move sets, some of the best reactions. There's also that. And Bloodborne is definitely a contender. My list would be Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 2, Demon Souls. That's my top 5 FromSoft. And yeah, Ronnie, that's what I said. Dark Souls 3 is very fleshed out. But as somebody who's been playing the games for a decade and a half, I would still always recommend start at the beginning. Because if you actually pay attention and you have a goddamn brain, you'll know that Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 have a shitload of lore individually. Dark Souls 1 has more lore than Dark Souls 2 and 3 combined. But Not a lot of people realize it because it's environmental storytelling. It's hidden in the world. It's not told to you. But straight up saying that Dark Souls 1 doesn't have any lore is dead fucking wrong.
I went to pick her up and she just went all noodle.
Of course she did. She was waiting for her mama to go home.
Yeah.
Not that they gave me a tough time, it's just that, as I said, Elden Ring Glazers are some of the most brick wall brain dead conversationalists ever. I have yet to find somebody who loves Elden Ring as their very favorite game and actually have an intelligent conversation about it. They almost always say they never play Dark Souls 1 or 2 because it doesn't hold up, because the graphics aren't the same, and because they think that it has no lore. The environmental storytelling is one of the biggest things about this franchise, and it's one of the biggest reasons that games like Black Myth Wukong, the Jedi games, there was another. Those games alone are disqualified from being Souls-likes because of the way that they present the story. Now I feel like I'm in the middle of some rage bait because Dark Souls 1 and 2 have a shitload of lore. Saying that Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 2 does not have lore is one of the most incorrect things I've heard in my life. It's just flat out fucking wrong. As I said, Dark Souls 1 is the foundation of environmental storytelling. Saying that it has zero lore is 100% wrong because it has more lore in its world than Elden Ring. By fucking far. If you want to know what I mean and you want to have a few more brain cells, Hawkshaw over on YouTube has been making lore deep dive videos of Dark Souls 1 for 10 fucking years. How can you make content on a game that has zero lore for 10 years? Eternal Ring? No, I have not. It's hard to criticize Dark Souls 1 being 15 years old. The only thing I would really criticize is the remaster, not really being a remaster, more of a PS4 port. It was always meant to be breadcrumbs. That's the entire purpose of the environmental storytelling, is you are never given this information. You are supposed to figure it out. Miyazaki himself has confirmed that there are a shitload of stories in Dark Souls 1 that haven't been found out yet. There is a fuckload of lore in Dark Souls 1. If you pay attention and you watch a couple videos, you'll realize. Dude, somebody made an entire book based around the lore. Oh, Jesus. For the millionth time, saying that Dark Souls 1 has little lore is fucking wrong. And it's another reason why I wasn't a big fan of Elden Ring, is a lot of the lore was in your face. I'm just gonna start muting people who just don't fucking listen. Like, if you're just gonna sit and be a brick wall to conversate with, why should I spend the brain power arguing with you? It's just fucking annoying. Remember when I said a minute ago that Elden Ring Glazers are the most brick wall people to talk to? Like, it's sad, dude. There is a very, very clear difference between an Elden Ring Glazer and a Dark Souls player. Can you sit down, please?
Yeah, I was.
You're sitting over me. It's a little much.
Sorry.
Also, another reason why I would never recommend it to anybody to start with God, Elden Ring. Oh my God. And there it is. There it is. Again. Anybody who defends Elden Ring's lore needs to be professionally, medically checked. If you think Elden Ring has good lore, I would love to see what you would do to your sister. That actually came out way wrong. I would hate to see what you do to your sister. Once again, I'm just gonna mute people who think that there is zero lore in the first few games. There's more lore in Dark Souls 1 than the entirety of Elden Ring. If you pay fucking attention. That game has always been described as an environmental story-based game. The story is in the world. If you piece it together and you actually listen, there is more lore than you could ever fucking imagine. Denying it is lying to yourself. Fuck. It was the guy who was talking earlier. Yeah, as I said, I'm done talking with people who just want to be a brick wall. Trying to play Dark Souls 3 and have a good time, not argue with assholes. If you want to get my opinion and you want to get some facts about Elden Ring, my Dark Souls 2 episode 11. Over on the play button side. Grow up. Actually listen to your elders. What? Ouch.
White shirt too.
Why's my frame rate fucking dead right now? Hold on. I'm gonna back out real quick. Just because my frame rate's taking a shit. I don't remember. All I know is that most of that game borders around brother-sister love. Welcome in, everybody. Hello, hello. Hello? Are you done? All the snow in this area is really making the frame rate drop like hell. See, I wish I could delete comments on TikTok lives because it's crazy how many people come in and just say shit that's flat out fucking wrong. And then other people come in and see it and agree with it. And then I have to keep repeating myself. Oh, I'm alright, Jake. Just dealing with a bunch of... If you want to know my opinions of Elden Ring, I'm not talking about it anymore on stream. Go find my Dark Souls 2 video over on the Play Button app, episode 11. But yes, Dark Souls 1 has a shitload of fucking lore. Saying that it doesn't is just plain wrong. So many people miss the part where it's an environmental story-based telling game. It is on purpose that the lore is not given to you. Yeah, that's on purpose. That is the biggest thing that defines a Souls game. And it is one of the biggest reasons why games like Black Myth Wukong are not Souls-likes. Dark Souls 1 has a metric fuck ton of lore. This is why I get so fucking heated when I talk with Elden Ring glazers, dude. Because now I'm upset. Except there's more. There's more in Dark Souls 1 than there is in Elden Ring. It's just hidden. Even after 15 years, we don't know the full story. As I said, there is a metric fuck ton of lore in that game. No, he put more in Dark Souls 1. That's why Lost Izalith was not finished. They spent so much time dealing with the lore in that game that they could not finish the game in time. Dedicated the whole playthrough to that build is crazy. And Miyazaki wasn't working on Dark Souls 2 very much. He was still working on Bloodborne. As I said, the entire purpose of a Souls game is the environmental storytelling. What the fuck is shooting me? Oh my god, are you literally hitting me through the goddamn floor? The less direct storytelling is 100% on purpose. There's a lot that is confirmed, obviously. I mean, there's the stuff that's found through item descriptions, boss connections, the stuff that's told to you in cutscenes and NPC dialogue, but the environmental storytelling, the way the world is mapped out, the way areas are designed, the way structures are designed, the way items are placed and enemies are placed, is 100% intentional. The only place in Dark Souls 1 where none of that's intentional, or not none of it, but some of it's unintentional, is Lost Izalith. And that's plain fucking wrong. You should, Dirty. You should. That's just wrong. Like, there's no other way to say it. That's fucking wrong. there are pieces of armor that connects Lost Izalith to the gods, Duke's Archives to a blacksmith, Ash Lake to an entire rebellion against the gods. Yeah, sure, it's all tied to Gwyn. But that's because Gwyn is the leading part of the problem. The fact that that was part of the lyrics of the song I was listening to is purely coincidental. Gwyn may be the focus point of the lore, but there are still so many things in the world that you would not know if you did not pay attention. Sieglinde, Sigmire, Sigmire's Sigmire's wife. How fucking many of you are there in this area? I don't remember. Fucking hate this. It's crazy to me how so many people are like, oh, it's just the last boss of the game that has... Dude. No. That makes no fucking sense. Why build an entire game? Why make all these areas and all these bosses and all these enemies and all these assets in the world and not have an explanation for any of it? Like, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Dark Souls 1 has some of the most lore in the franchise, and all of it's intentional. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. See, but now I'm talking about Elden Ring on my streams, and now that's the topic of conversation, and TikTok's like, oh, he's talking about Elden Ring, so let's send him more Elden Ring people. And then I'm just getting the entire Brain Dead community.
What he's trying to make is no.
How many times, Ronnie, how many times this stream alone have I said that most Elden Ring players that we've talked to specifically tonight in the last hour are some of the most brick wall conversationalists? I don't know that they will, Regis. Like, they're so far gone at this point that they're not willing to listen to reason. Saying that Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 2 has no lore is brain dead bullshit dumb. The lore of Dark Souls 2 is hailed as some of the best. Dark Souls 2 really does. Nishandra, Ilana, Alsana, and Nadalia are shards of Manus from Dark Souls 1. Okay? They broke off of Manus after killing him. Each have their own aspects of his personal being. So you got fear, power, except it does. They are shards of Manus, the last boss of Dark Souls 1. And of course, none of it really connects. They're thousands of years apart. But they are shards of Manus, and each have a specific aspect of his personality. Nishandra is power hungry. Alsana is born of fear. Ilana is born of actual, like, magical power. Okay? And it's not even that. Those 4 beings found the most powerful kings in the land. So you've got the Sunken King, the Iron King, the Ivory King, and the King of Drain Lake. Oh my god. They found those 4 kings and helped take over their kingdoms without them realizing. Helped influence them. Except they... I'm done talking in circles, dude. Ignoring the lore of a Souls game just shows how little you don't fucking care. If you're gonna sit and ignore the fact that those games have more lore than you actually realize and you're going to deny the existence of the lore, what fucking point do I have to make to get you to see that you're just wrong? I'm just fucking done, dude. I'm just fucking done. You can get into the games and ignore the lore. You don't have to play it for the lore. But saying that there isn't any lore, when these are some of the most lore-saturated games in gaming history, is just fucking retarded. I don't care who gets mad at me for saying that. If you play a Souls game and then deny it having lore, you are fucking dumb. I can't say it any harder than that. You are just wrong. You can not focus on the lore all you want. I didn't focus on the lore of the Souls games until a couple of years ago. And I've been playing them for 15 fucking years. But I never thought that there wasn't any lore. I just knew that there was so much, I couldn't get into it.
And also, how can you say it doesn't have any when you never made an effort to even think about it?
Exactly. Exactly. You can play through the whole game, and you can completely shut your brain off and play through the game and fight the bosses, and you will still know that there is lore to this world. There is a purpose to this world. But saying that it has 0 to little lore is fucking wrong. I continue to say it. It's the most brain-dead bullshit I've ever heard. Denying lore in a Souls game is factually incorrect. These are some of the most lore-saturated games in gaming history. Alex, I have once again let myself get brought into the bullshit that is the Elden Ring community. And now it's Elden Ring Glazers thinking, oh, let me just shit on your game real quick. The claim is that Dark Souls 1 and 2 don't really have any actual lore, and that Dark Souls 3 is the only one that does. I'd argue that Dark Souls 3's lore is less apparent. Or less saturated, at least. Now.
Like, you would know if a game doesn't have lore if you're looking for it, and you literally can't find a single goddamn thing.
Just say you never played the games. Exactly. You cannot play through a playthrough of Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3 completely close-minded and still say that there's 0 lore. A lot of what people were saying today is that all of the lore is just Gwyn. Just the last boss of the game is all the lore that there is. Sure, he's a lot of it. He's a lot of the focus point. For obvious fucking reasons. He's the main big bad of the world. And that's what I'm saying. The Souls franchise is some of the most heavily saturated stories in gaming history. And Bloodborne has a lot of lore too. Bloodborne, I would say, contends with Dark Souls 1 or 2 on what has more.
And like, I haven't even played the games, but I've watched a bunch of the videos that he's had on it.
Oh yeah. There's characters in that game. Even some of the smaller merchants in Dark Souls 1 have a huge connection to the lore. Havel? Havel's entire story is fucking crazy. He used to be a disciple of Gwyn. He used to be part of the church, the Way of White, and defected. It's believed that I can't remember her name, but the priestess girl that you save in Dark Souls 1, it's theorized that she is his daughter. She's there to find him, but she's also disgraced and hated by the people of the Way of White because of him. That is why there is a Black Knight in Undead Burg. Havel is trapped at the bottom, actually, quote unquote Havel, because there are still beliefs that he is not actually Havel. Kitten. Yeah, it's not a well-known theory, but it's a big theory. As I always say, watch Hawkshaw over on YouTube. He's got a lot of great lore deep dives. Real Havel is in Tomb of Giants. I don't know that that's true. I don't know that I've seen any inclination that he was ever in the Tomb of Giants. But as I said earlier, how can a game like Dark Souls 1 have next to no lore if a guy has been doing lore deep dives on Dark Souls 1 for over a fucking decade, and he's not the only one? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah. The lore of Dark Souls 1 was intentionally hidden from you. Like, there were interviews with Miyazaki just after Dark Souls 1 came out, and he goes into detail about it. Vati Vidya and Hawkshaw, Hawkshaw. He's been doing lore deep dives on Dark Souls 1 for over a decade, and they are some of the best lore videos I've seen. What? I know. I've already said it once this stream, so who gives a fuck?
I didn't know.
Did you figure out what to do with pendant yet? What? What pendant are you talking about? Oh. I don't remember the starting items in Dark Souls 1. The only one worth the time is the Master Key. It's over this way. It's one of the worst areas in the DLC. Yeah. The lore of the Dark Souls trilogy was as fleshed out as it needed to be or as they wanted it to be. Any plot holes that they filled or added onto was finished, and they intend on you eventually finding it or never finding it. Nothing of Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 3's lore is unintentional. They were very meticulous with the story for these games. It is such a dumb fucking take to say that the Dark Souls games have no lore. I cannot believe that we got so many people coming in saying that and actually, like, defending it. I cannot fucking believe that. Alright. And we're gonna put on some fucking music. We're gonna stop talking about Elden garbage. Or they believe that they have and they never want to think anything can be better. Okay, I'm putting my earbuds in. I can't hear you. Actually, we're gonna level up first. Dark Souls 3 has some of the best gameplay. Dark Souls 2 has some really cool lore if you pay attention, and some really, really cool niche mechanics. Dark Souls 1 has the best lore in the franchise. Bloodborne is very, very close on the best lore. But Bloodborne kind of covers all three bases in its own way. But of the trilogy, that's my ranking. What was I here for? Oh, level up.
Can you get out there, please? Come here. Oh, yeah. Come here.
Once again, this is why I don't talk to Elden Ring players, dude. It's intentionally hidden. It's hard to say which game is best. My favorite is by far Dark Souls 1. And I would still never recommend to anybody to start with Elden Ring. Because then it creates people with the thought process of the last 10 people I've been trying to break into their skull about. What? Can you not sit over me? If you want to find out my opinion of Elden Ring, I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm done talking about Elden Ring, and I'm done talking about the lore of the games. I'm just going to fucking play them. If you want to know, go to the YouTube in my bio, watch my episode 11 playthrough of Dark Souls 2. I'm fucking done. Anybody who keeps continuing to talk about Elden Ring will just get blocked. I'm fucking done.
You guys haven't been here for like the last 30 minutes where everybody's just been talking about it.
Don't keep feeding. Don't keep feeding. Alright, bitch, come on. Like I just told my girlfriend, do not keep feeding the dumbasses. Okay. I did not mean to roll into her. I'm rude because nobody wants to fucking listen. Where the fuck did you go? Fuck out of here. I'm just going to continue to remove people who keep feeding into the bullshit. The topic of conversation is now this game or my game. Because it will never ever fucking stop if I don't stop it. Okay. Oh, look at that damage. Welcome in, everybody. Hello, hello. Yeah, it's definitely a crazy ass boss fight. Watch me do this first try. I will be utterly surprised if I actually do this first try. Oh my god, I hate that I can't skip out of the dialogue. Okay. Madeira was easily one of the best dragon fights in the franchise. Fuck off, lady. Fucking hell, dude. Don't kill me with that. You bitch. Of course it was a fucking grab attack. Of course it was a fucking grab attack, dude. Almost got it. I've said the same thing. If Duskbloods was not on Switch 2, I would definitely play it. But the fact that it's a Switch 2 exclusive is not nearly enough reason for me to buy one. I'm a survivor, come out with me. Oh, of course. No, probably not. Because it'll eventually end up turning into somebody else, keeping up the conversation, and then it will just never stop. I went through that first phase almost entirely flawless. Oh yeah. I have every version of the Souls games on disc. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, the original Demon Souls, the original Dark Souls 1, the original Dark Souls 2. Okay. Going into second or third phase with 10 flasks, 1 Ember, and 1 Divine Blessing, I've got this. Okay, unless she does that. Oh! I got the Ember off before she did it! We're still in the game. We're still in the game, boys. I hadn't gotten that fucking Ember off, fuck yeah, dude. Oh my god. This DLC is a nightmare. I mean, you still have the champion to do. I know I don't have to do this alone. Oh. Do you know what a septic tank is? That is a tank that collects every single bit of waste from your drain system. Instead of it going out to the city, it collects in a tank, and you have to have somebody clean out every couple of years. He fell in and drowned.
What?
Somebody a couple of towns over, 85-year-old man, fell in his own septic tank and drowned to death today.
Feel bad for the guy. What? Is there an update?
No! It's a comment that Kyle said!
What did he say?
He must have been in some deep shit.
You guys are horrible. You all have.
Oh my god! Bro! Ben, shitty way to go. Stop laughing. You left for 10 seconds and you missed what happened? Gotta be one of the worst ways to die. Choking on your entire family's shit. Could you imagine? That's fucking depressing. Jesus Christ. Oh, Alex, I think you missed it. Some guy a couple towns over from me, this 85-year-old, fell in his own septic tank and drowned to death today. If you guys don't know what a septic tank is, instead of your sewer system connecting to the city's sewer system, it goes out to a tank that needs to be cleaned every once in a while. This guy drowned in his entire family's waste. That's so fucked up. Well, as I said, somebody comes out and cleans it. It's probably that he lived far off and it's too far to connect to a city well system. So somebody comes out, like on a ranch or something, you know? You live far off on a ranch and it's too far from the city to actually connect to the city drainage. So somebody comes out, they suck it all up into their tank, drive away with it, and then dispose of it. That's fucking sad. I don't fucking know. Oh, fucking no. But I'm gonna restart, take a little bit of a break. I need to cool down. If you enjoy Elden Ring enough to the point that you just will not conversate with somebody intelligently, you need to rethink your entire fucking life. Grow some balls, play something good. Be a real person.